The topic for today is how do energy brokers, agents, or consultants get paid? It's one of the most frequently asked questions that we get. And so today I want to open up a discussion so that you understand better how the process works. There's two ways that we get paid. First, let me explain that I've been doing this business for over 27 years and have been involved in literally thousands of transactions and work with many other agents and brokers in this industry. And so what I'm about to tell you is established as common practice. First, the way that we get paid is directly from a supplier. Suppliers send us a commission check every month, and it's the amount we get paid is a function of the margin rate that was established on the deal and the volume that was used in the previous month, whether that be gas or electric. That is probably going to account for 98% of all the transactions in this marketplace. That simple formula. The other way, which accounts for a very small percentage, is when a client pays the broker directly, some kind of negotiated fee. It is implied that when a customer works directly with a broker, that the broker's not also getting paid by the supplier. It's a very bad practice in our industry, though, where oftentimes a broker gets paid by the customer and then also gets paid by the supplier. That's not best practices. So let's look at what goes into that markup. First, suppliers have minimums that they need to receive on any kind of transaction. So how are minimum margins established? Well, first the suppliers are going to look at how big the load is, whether it's gas or electric. And obviously the bigger the load, the lower the margin that they're willing to accept. The price that they're going to put on that is to basically so they can earn a reasonable return and also cover their fixed costs with a transaction. In almost every instance, a best practice in our industry is that the margin is split 50-50 between the broker and the supplier. So if at the end of the day, the markup on an electric deal is 2/100ths of a cent per kilowatt hour, 1/100th of a cent goes to the broker and 1/100th of a cent goes to the supplier. The split between the broker and the supplier is almost without exception always 50-50. Supplier and the broker get the same amount of margin at the end of the day. So what goes into how much the broker establishes as the margin? There's a lot of components to it. First, and probably the easiest is for the broker, it's the same as the supplier. It depends on the complexity of the transaction and the size. So if it's a larger load, obviously the broker is less inclined to put a bigger margin on it. But let's talk about complexity and the kind of things that goes into that. The broker has to recover their sales and fixed costs. On the fixed cost side of things, there's several things that we have to consider that could add to our cost for the transaction. First, if it's a multi-state or multi-site location, if there's other services like an auction was being performed, or if there's a custom contract negotiation that's going to occur. That means more time by us to help finish the transaction. And sometimes our margin is affected by the competition at your location, i.e., let's say you've got another broker in there that you're shopping against us. Part of your summary or part of your evaluation of who you're going to use is both their price but also their services, and those services are really difficult to put a value on, but it's something that obviously when we're pricing a deal, we're sensitive to. Additionally, if there's an opportunity for us to sell you, the client, other products, i.e. we're selling you, in this transaction, electricity, but you're also a big gas user, or you're going to need demand response, or perhaps there's some efficiency project that you are considering, or a solar project, kind of weighs into how we're going to mark this up. And then last is whether or not you've got a growing or shrinking load, if there's some significant variance there. So for instance, if we know that hypothetically you're using 1 million kilowatt hours this next year, but you're about to add some new production line and that load is going to grow to 4 million, what we're going to do is price it more competitively, anticipating that bigger load. So anyway, these are a lot of the variables that go into how we're going to price your account. A broker generally does not disclose in writing what we make on a deal. It very much mirrors how the insurance business works. If you want it in writing, you are certainly okay with asking for it. And if need be, a broker oftentimes will put it in writing. Problem is that what they put in writing may not necessarily be what they're actually receiving. So at the end of the day, this boils down to a matter of trust. You have to have a high degree of confidence and trust in the agent or broker that you're using to ensure you're getting a fair deal. Thanks for watching. Please like or share this with others. And as always, if you have any questions about how a broker gets paid, feel free to reach out to us directly. Thanks.